Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So, Leos, we're going to do a storyline where I just want to ask who is Leo supposed to be? Meaning, like, which direction is their life supposed to take? Something that they haven't, like, acquired yet, achieved yet. What is that supposed to look like? Seven of Cups, a life full of way more opportunity and possibilities. A life where if Leo feels like, I only have one way to do things. I only have one direction to go. This is not what they're destined for. Our Leo, with this 10 of Wands, you notice that she has this clay mask on. And, the reason we take a mud bath or put on a clay mask is to pull impurities out of the skin, right? So the 10 of Wands is about laying down burdens, guilt in particular. Like needs to be withdrawn. I don't know if Leo feels like they failed somebody, like they should have done this or done that. I don't think it was all Leo's lookout. We have a whole city that like look, firefighters do their best to put out fires all the time, right? But they can't. Sometimes the best they can do is contain things. It doesn't matter how much you want to help everybody that's around you. You're just one person, and there are forces that are bigger than you. It feels like Leo has to stop feeling like they somehow didn't do enough to help somebody, or that this is like they have to pull that out of themselves. Go take a mud bath, go do something symbolic that will help pull out the feelings of guilt, the feelings of remorse over something that they perceive as, I still didn't do good enough, and I'm here in this lifetime to be penalized for it, and that's why I don't have a lot of opportunities to do other things that I would want to, because I'm going to be prevented from doing certain things that I would want to, because I failed somewhere. This is like it's almost like Leo has had a subconscious idea of like a punishment that has made their life kind of narrow, and like opportunities were not there for them, and that is not the way it's supposed to be. Leo's changes on the horizon here, because 7 is a number of change. So this is going to be changing. I hope that Leo embraces that and changes this vibe as soon as possible. Hi, everybody. So great to see you today. We have a 9 of Cups upright. Leo's supposed to be a heck of a lot happier. They have a much easier life up ahead. They have more opportunities to explore more things, to maybe travel, to go different places. They have opportunities to live like a more comfortable quality of life. And this could be even down to maybe some of the first things for Leo to do is start applying tiny little choices in their life that can make them happier. Let's say my mattress isn't comfortable. I'm going to go ahead and get a different mattress for my bed. I'm going to let myself do that. Now, I know mattresses are pretty expensive. Honestly, my favorite ones are the Costco ones, but I think they're the best, the most comfortable, 14 inches of foam. Love them. But that's just me having my own personal preference. That is not a product placement. It is just one of those things that I love, big, thick foam beds. And they're the least expensive. But that's me. That is one of those maybe small things. Maybe we could go with something smaller though yet. Something that Leo could do to give their own life more happiness. This is a simple thing that I think everybody should do sometimes, is like notice what kind of entertainment that you're consuming. If you're only consuming huge, negative, terrible, stuff that's fed to us, especially through the major news cycles, stop. Listen to like awesome lectures on things that teach you stuff, things about, interesting facts about the universe, learn about different things, or listen to music, or, do different things that bring joy into your life. I think if Leo could start improving their circumstances and having more joy in their life, it might ease that new opportunity for them, this lifestyle that they're really supposed to have. Leo is supposed to have a better life. They're supposed to have more options, not less. They're not supposed to be feeling hemmed in. They're not hemmed in. We have the Star. I keep feeling like Leo's supposed to be able to travel and explore more. Specifically, I mean, maybe if they don't already live in the United States. Maybe they're supposed to travel to the United States, or maybe they're supposed to travel to a different part of the United States. There's something about like very early history. So it could be like, obviously if you know anything about the United States, you know that, the initial settlers were on the East Coast, that came and started to, create, the New England states and eventually pushed out westward. But I'm a West Coaster myself. I've never actually been on the East Coast at all. So I haven't seen that, older pieces of history. And of course, we were not the first people here, but, there's a lot of history across the United States. Anyway, it doesn't have to be specific to that. I'm just mentioning it because we see a tip of the hat to that. But we also see, maps and travel. And so maybe it's time to like explore and learn more about either where we came from, where our ancestors were, what their lives were about, in order to like really start to blossom and maybe explore more, maybe find a better way to exist. But this feels like exploration of things that you don't already know about. This is not about a Leo who's supposed to just do the same Groundhog Day, day after day. I almost feel like if Leo lives on the West Coast, maybe they're supposed to move to the East Coast. If Leo lives in one country, maybe they're eventually supposed to live in a different country. Maybe they're supposed to travel. Maybe they're supposed to get to know more about history, more about the indigenous populations that lived there first before other people settled. Maybe they're supposed to have a broader view and a different set of experiences. But I feel like this Leo's life is going to keep getting bigger and broader as long as they don't feel like they aren't allowed to like have access to other. I almost feel like Leo's been trapped living in a small town for a really long time and feeling like, well, I got to be here to take care of this family member or that family member. Leo could have been like the eldest child, or a child that had to like take care of the younger siblings. Maybe they had to grow up too fast. For them to carry so many burdens like this makes me think that this Leo kind of got cheated out of a sense of freedom because they felt like they were responsible for everything that went on for other people, not even just themselves. And they've carried like a lot of responsibilities. Like, I can't move, I can't travel, I can't do this, I can't do that, because I have to stay right here and hold down the fort. And even then I still am not doing enough. And I think that's about to be lifted. The life that Leo's supposed to have, I mean, they may not have pursued a dream that they had to like follow a talent. Sometimes a star card is literally about going great distance, about traveling, about immigrating, about living where you want to live, about reaching your highest potential, your highest goals. It can be about becoming famous, being in the public eye. This Leo, that's still slated for them. That is still the life that they're supposed to be able to have. So it just kind of looks like there's a lot more for our character still to pursue. We have the Strength card in the reverse. We also have the Death card in the reverse. Some things are never going to change, and some people are never going to be able to stand beside Leo, and some people are never going to understand Leo. They're not going to change. People that don't support Leo are still not going to support Leo. People that want to heap guilt upon Leo, that's still going to be who they are. I feel like there could have been a negative connection that Leo had possibly to a masculine somewhere in their life. This could have been a father figure that was either absent or didn't approve or wasn't supportive. Screw them. I'm sorry. Screw them. Who cares? They are stuck wherever they're stuck. Their mentality is what their mentality is. Leo does not have to be like either held back by somebody else's limiting belief systems or try to please this person or feel like, oh, they're going to disapprove of this or that. It feels like this has to be a family member because it still is obviously Leo energy. We have Leo and Scorpio here. And it feels like it's definitely like, oh, if I do this, my ancestor will be upset with me. My father figure wouldn't have approved if I did this or that. Who cares? This is not your father's life. This is your life, Leo. I'm sorry to be so like blunt in this one, but remember, this is kind of like the life that Leo's supposed to have. And I'm feeling super defensive on behalf of this Leo, because I'm like, why haven't you been able to pursue all the things that you wanted and, reach those heights? You deserve to be doing your very best and having your very best life. not worrying about whether or not somebody else would disapprove of what your best life might look like. So I hope that this Leo just puts themselves out there and starts doing the things that they need to for them without considering, will so and so like this? Would my ancestor have approved? It's not your ancestor's life, it's yours. And there should be less guilt involved for Leo. I like that message that's coming across. Tell me more about that star card, because that's pretty exciting. We have got the 5 of Cups. It's sideways. It is not too late. Whatever this has felt like for Leo, we see some sorrows. We see a lot of heavy burdens, a lot of heavy emotional burdens, because although I didn't show this card upright, I will now. We've got, like a loss going on with that death card. This, is obviously a card of grief and sorrow and loss. It almost feels like Leo has been carrying other people's sorrows and feeling guilt for stuff that wasn't theirs. If they had, I'm almost getting this vibe of like, if Leo had a parental figure and, they carried their woes and they kind of like dumped their problems onto Leo. And then it's like, okay, well, it's my responsibility to make my parent happy because their spouse didn't make them happy. So now it's fallen to me. That seems to be this vibe of like, Leo maybe can use that and move it to their advantage and use it to propel them forward. Like, because the star can be about healing. Leo could be noticing like patterns that they've seen around them, understand themselves a little bit better. Like, what has held me back from reaching my fullest potential? Oh, I was kind of taught that life has a lot of sorrows, and somehow it's kind of like almost my fault that other people have sorrows. But wait a second, it isn't really. But let me use that idea of, instead of wallowing in hurt and pain, let me be the person who breaks out of that mold and goes after real happiness and is determined to heal from things that hurt. Like, Leo could turn this to their advantage and say, what I won't be is a victim of hurt and pain and circumstances. I will strive for better. I think our Leo is supposed to break like a family generational, I don't want to say curse, but like a family perspective that, you know what, in our family, we can't rise above this or that. And it's always hard for our family. And this is what our dialogue is. I think Leo needs to cast off any preformed, like negative titles that they've inherited from like, our family does this. In our family, we never have happy relationships. It just feels like there was an absentee parent, and then the other parent heaped a bunch of crap on Leo. And Leo is the person who can break away from this and be like, I'm not going to deal with my parents' trauma. I'm not going to deal with how they, oh, I always get left. And now, like, Leo, see, you will too. That is not true. Leo is, their destiny is so different than their parents' destiny. That's a really important message on this one. I know it's very specific, but it's so important that they do not say, because my parents didn't stay together, because one felt left, because they felt unloved, and then it translated into, oh, that parent that left didn't love me either, which means nobody will really stay with me or love me. That is so untrue. That dialogue needs to be cast right into the dumpster, right into the garbage disposal. That is not Leo's life. Leo's going to be really loved. They're going to be really happy, and they're going to be really successful. If they haven't been yet, it doesn't matter. It's not too late. This was big work for this Leo to do, to break away from that kind of concept and to realize that their life is full of opportunity instead. 7 of Wands. Yes, Leo might have to be lone wolf for a bit. They might have to walk away from somebody. And this could be really hard, because it could be a parent that is like glommed on, telling their sob story. I'm sorry to be so callous about it, but they might also, oh, so Leo's going to move away also. This could be somebody that never wants Leo to be out of their sight because of abandonment issues that they themselves have and have perpetrated all the time. Leo might have to get some distance. With that 7 of Wands, that could be the biggest blockage, is like, I got to put my eye on the prize and I got to go after what I need to do for me. 2 of Pentacles, talk about eye on the prize. Leo's first order of business is to have a more successful, like, growth period of their life. They are meant to have money, honey. Certainly have enough money to live the life that they want to live. This has been a blocking Leo's money. There's somebody else, and I keep feeling like it's a parent who told their sob story and their unhealed traumas to Leo, and made Leo feel bad for them and guilty about what happened to a parent, which was none of Leo's business. But it was blocking Leo's money. It was blocking Leo's, in this case, romances too. We have a Queen of Cups. I think Leo's starting to differentiate between what is somebody else's issues versus what are Leo's. And I don't really see Leo having any issues. I think this Leo is about to start having huge abundance, certainly a flow of money that's making their life easier, and they're starting to be able to live a better quality life, a happier life. I think this is a really interesting story because it's exploring how someone else's dialogue that they heap upon us can make us think that those are our limitations and that that's our life story when it's not our story at all. We are not our parents, our experiences. Our parents had their own set of experiences. We do not have their experiences. And especially as adults, we don't have to repeat anything that we did experience